Okay, this is jar working. It's to do with tax. So I don't know if what they call it in your country. Over here, it's the Inland Revenue. So it's to basically sway the people, the authorities, who are looking at the tax papers, to to sway them in favor of a client. So I have this little package made up, and that's got some of the details of the people that are looking at the case. It's got the client's photograph, their signatures there, and I have some herbs in here as well. So it's made up like that. I've cleansed the jar out with some Florida water and some cascarilla, which is powdered eggshell. So what I'm going to do is just place this in. So I just put some, it doesn't want to go in, orange string around that for a road opening. There we go. In you go. Okay, and I'm going to put in some Cascara Sagrada, which I use frequently for legal working. I'm also going to put in some Abracamino, some road opener. So it's been ground down. And I'm going to pop in some sugar, sweeten up the situation. So this is just the preparatory work. For this, I'm calling on Lord Belial. Lord Belial being a spirit of the Ars Goetia, the Lesser Key of Solomon. I've gone into detail in previous videos with regards to, all about him and etc. etc. So, if you're going to do this for yourself, I advise you to just do the jar working and use your own will. If you're not used to working with any of the spirits of the Goetia or any of the spirits that I actually do call upon in these videos, please don't do that. Don't call them, because to be honest with you, if you're going to call one of these guys, you really need to know how to do it in the appropriate way. And I just think before you call on a spirit, you need to immerse yourself, learn a bit about the spirit, and take it from there. It's not something that I would suggest you do on the spur of the moment. So having that said, I'm going to fill this up with some honey just to sweeten it up a bit. You could put in some sugar, that would just do the same job. Molasses, syrup, what else? Anything that's sweet, because that's what we want. So I'm adding in some Justice dirt. It doesn't want to come out. Okay. And some powdered down John the Conqueror root. John the Conqueror is very good in these situations to bring you out on top, to be for you to be the winner. Let me see. I'm going to put in some shredded money because we want this situation to turn around. I'm also going to add in some fiery wall of protection. I've already put that on the photograph, the guy's photograph, the client, and I've also what's this? Crown of Success. Okay, and let me see. There's a couple of other oils I want to put in. I like this for this to happen quite soon, so I'm going to put in some coffee if I can find it. Any kind of coffee. Coffee's very good for speed. Okay. And let me see. I haven't set out any more herbs, but I will be putting in more herbs for this. So yeah, I'm also going to make an offering. I'm going to set this aside because I haven't finished it. So herbs pertaining to legal work are fine. So like I said, I've got cascara sagrada. I'll be putting in a little bit more sugar, brown sugar. I've put in this hydro on the conqueror root. I put in some justice dirt, some money powder, powdered down money. So basically, go with what you have. These spells aren't for you to go out, rush out to get these ingredients and stuff. Back in the day, people just used what they had in their kitchen, and they were able to wing it. So that's what I suggest. But for this, because I want this to, I want this working to, to really come through for the client. That's why I'm going out on a limb and putting in, this, that, and the other. So, yeah, I've got the sigil of Belial. I have read many times from these books, but I'll read again just for anyone that's new. This one again is Long Mallow Decap. It's Alistair Crowley's illustrated Goetia. Let's see where Belial is. Let me see. Yeah. So Belial, the tarot card is the Six of Swords. His metal is gold. The 68th spirit is Belial. He is a mighty and powerful king and was created next after Lucifer. He appears in the form of a beautiful angel sitting in a chariot of fire. He speaks with a comely voice and declares that he fell first from among the worthiest sort that were before Michael and other heavenly angels. His office is to distribute presentations and censorships, etc., and to cause favour of friends and of foes. He gives excellent familiars and governs 50 legions of spirits. Note well that this is King Belial must have offerings, sacrifices and gifts presented unto him by the exorcist, or else he will not give true answers unto his demands. But then he tarries not 1 hour in the truth, unless he be constrained by divine power. So that's I don't like the constraints and all that. To be honest with you, I find that everyone's different, and when I approach these spirits, because I don't like calling them demons, when I approach them, I don't like, first of all, I don't like the circle, the triangle for that matter, and I don't like to, like I said, I burn the sigils, but I don't burn the sigils with the intent to cause, because let's say I'm unhappy with the spirit. A lot of people burn the sigil, but I burn the sigil when I'm finished and the spell has, came to its fruition. Then I burn the sigil and scatter the ash to the wind. But yeah, I don't believe that you should really dictate to the spirit and stuff, because let's just say if the spirit is helping you, why would you do that? Things are gonna go. They're gonna seriously go. Boobs up if you do that. They really are. So I don't recommend that. But each to their own, like I said. So this is S. Conley's Demonolatry Goetia. And she says basically the same things. She has his own lyric Tasa Vifa Welik Bilal. Original purpose distributes titles and can be friends and enemies, and can make friends and enemies favor you. He gives familiars. A magician must give offerings, sacrifices, and gifts if he wants Belial to be truthful. Well, I don't find that with Belial. I find, because I've probably built up a relationship with Belial, that I get the truth regardless. But anyway, author's notes. She puts, in the Ducanti hierarchy, Belial is seen as the representative demonic force of earth. In this aspect, he is destructive. He is a destructive earth force. This makes invoking this aspect apt for execrations and necromancy, not to mention business endeavors that require aggressive measures. So, saying that, I just want to say that the reason why I chose Belial is because of that. Belial is quite good for legal work, and that is the reason why. So what I've done, I've got a tiny little sigil. So what I do is I go over that. I print it off the internet, or sometimes I freehand it. It depends. And I will go over that with a black pen, and then I will open the sigil. And what I mean by that is I gaze at that. I don't stare, I gaze at it. And it's like going into a meditative state. And at that point, you know that he's there. Sometimes the sigil will jump around a bit, get a bit 3D in my vision. And that's when I make my request. So I have done that for the client, and I have offered the client, I have offered that to Belial, that when he comes through, and I've basically said what I'm going to do for him, and it seems to have been accepted. So we'll see how things go. So yeah, well, I'm going to finish this off later. So that's the bare bones of it. So I've got a yellow candle because of his color is yellow. Now this candle I've engraved, you can't see obviously, but I've engraved it with his name, and I have actually put the sigil, I've drawn the sigil on the candle, so that I'm offering that to him now, but I also have an offering for him when he comes through, if you know what I mean. So I'll be, I'm not closing this up just yet, I'll be placing that on top, and letting that burn down a little bit each night for probably 7 days, or until the matter is sorted. This goes here. Sometimes I put them inside the jars, there's no problem with that, but on most occasions I don't feel that I want to do that, so I'll just burn it. And we can see how things go from there. Like I said, he's not one I encourage you to work with off, how can I put it? I don't encourage you to work with him unless you have a very, very good valid reason. He's not just a spirit, he's a god, and he's a god of left-hand path ascension. So I would encourage you to immerse yourself in a lot of, try and read up on as much as possible to do with him, because, like I said, he's a god of left-hand path ascension. He likes to change your life in a way that is better for you in the long run, but it can be a steamroller going through your life because he's making those changes quickly. It'll seem quite traumatic to you. If there's people in your life that are no use to you or holding you back and stuff, he will remove them and he will tear through your life. So, it's just a word of caution. By all means, if you have anything to do with paperwork, taxes, money, do the jar. If you have a deity, use your deity. Use your own will even. I wouldn't leave this guy out of it unless you know what you're dealing with. So it's just I have to caution people because I'm putting information out there and I want people to be careful. So that's all I'm going to say on this one. I'm going to get this sorted for the client, and hopefully we'll get some good news. So it's thehouseofmagick@gmail.com, or leave whatever you want to say in the comment section, and I'll get back to you all as soon as I can. Okay, thank you. Be blessed.